Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So we're going to take a little break from the STI tonight. I wanted to update you guys on my whole pressure washer situation. I have made some progress and I want to update you guys because initially I had no plans to upgrade this pressure washer at all. But then we got this one and I ended up buying something else. So I wanted to update you guys since a lot of people always have questions about my pressure washer setup on what I use to wash my STI. If you guys watched my last video, you know that I had some issues with this pressure washer and I got everything sorted out with that. And so I figured I would go over everything and let you know what's coming. All right, so let's start off with the one that I have been using for the last 4 years. This is the one I'm currently using, as you can see. This is a Greenworks 2000 PSI pressure washer. I do not use it for anything other than washing cars. It's a very, very simple setup. I got it from, I think, Home Depot or Lowe's, one of those, for 60 bucks. This thing was normally like 120 or something like that. I got it at clearance because the new model was coming out, and I picked this up for really, really cheap. I've been using it for the past 4 years. It has been fantastic. No issues whatsoever. You guys know how great it foams the car and everything. Obviously, it's not the best thing in the world in terms of the overall components and all that. It's pretty basic when it comes to this kind of stuff, but it has worked very, very well for me over the years. And it's one of those things that, you know, I never really had plans to upgrade. I eventually did, but I never really thought I would do it so soon because this thing has been trucking along. So let's go over my setup real quick just so you get an idea. This is, as I mentioned, the Greenworks 2000 PSI pressure washer. I have the quick disconnect on the garden hose portion here, the inlet for the water. Back here I have quick disconnects as well for the actual pressure washer hose. Comes down here to a 50-foot pressure washer hose. Nothing fancy. This is from Amazon. I've been using this hose for like 6 or 7 years. Not the best thing in the world, but it works, and I haven't had any issues with it all this time. I have quick disconnects on it as well for my gun over here. This is an MTM M407. Again, I've been using this thing for like 7 years or so, very, very long time. I got it at the same time when I got this, and I'm using a 25-degree nozzle, and it works really well. The foam cannon that I use is the PF22, the best foam cannon that you can get out today. Love that thing. But yeah, that is my setup. Really simple, very, very straightforward. Not the cleanest or neatest thing in the world. I got this little shelf here from Home Depot. It was like $5 or $10 with some brackets. So now that we went over this, let's go over the newest edition, which is the one over here. My buddy upgraded his pressure washer, and he used this for about 1.5 years or so. Since he got the new setup, he was like, hey, do you want this one? I'll let it go to you for cheap. And I was like, hey, why not? Let me try it out. Let me see what it's all about. Again, I had no really plans to upgrade my current setup, but since this was so cheap, I was like, you know what? Let me see if this is worth the money. Let's see if it's worth upgrading from the $60 Greenworks over there. So I picked it up from him, got everything set up with the quick disconnects on here, put it on the shelf, and I ended up washing the telly right over here. Worked fantastically. I had no issues. It was nice and quiet compared to that thing. And the water coming out, it really moved water very, very well. So overall, I was very impressed. Had a good time, shut it down, and then that was it. So the next day I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch the STI. I'm really looking forward to it using the new pressure washer. Ended up having some issues. What was happening was the actual pump inside was surging. So it was telling me that there was some type of leak since it wasn't able to hold pressure. So I was like, maybe it's something with my setup. Maybe there's a leak somewhere in one of my hoses. So I checked all my connections, all my hoses, everything, no issues whatsoever. I went as far as even taking all the quick disconnects off, all the fittings, and used everything that comes stock. So the stock gun and the stock hose as well. And I was still having the surge issue. So that led me to believe that there was something wrong with the pump on the inside, which is crazy because it worked totally fine when I watched the Telluride the other day. And I have no idea what happened. So we reached out to Active, showed them a video of what was going on, and they were super responsive. It was great. They were like, yep, hey, you know, we'll send out a new one, we'll ship it out, we'll let you know, and sorry for all your troubles. So fantastic customer service. I really give it out to Active for kind of jumping right on it. Didn't even have to ask for anything or kind of battle back and forth. They were just like, yep, sure, here's a new one. So that is shipping out. So I'm going to give this one another try once it comes in, put all the quick disconnects back on and see what it's all about. So when that one eventually comes in, I will give an update. I will try it out with all the quick disconnects and all my hoses and fittings and everything. See if it was actually the actual pump or this unit itself, and see if we can actually use this. But I was doing some research the other day and I was like, you know what? I wash cars very, very often. It is a big hobby of mine. It's something that I enjoy doing. I love spending time out in the garage, not only just driving the car or modifying it, but I love washing cars. It's just one of those things that I've been doing for many, many, many years. It's therapy to me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to fork over the money. I'm going to invest in a nicer power washing setup. So naturally, me being me, I went straight to the top and I went to the holy grail of pressure washers and I looked up the Krenzla, with the Prevost piping and the CR spotless and everything like that. Started looking through everything and then I was like, wait, let's take a second. Let's really actually think about what I use this for. I'm not a professional detailer. It's not my job. It's not something that I need to rely on every single day. And I probably use the pressure washer 2, 3, maybe 4 times a month. So I was like, all right, do I really need that right now? Eventually, I reasoned with myself and I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold off on spending, $3,500 on a pressure washer setup right now. Let's see what else is out there. So I started doing some research and, there's a couple other options out there from Obsessed Garage or just in general. And I landed on the AR Blue, which is basically the step under the Krenzla. I was like, man, this is really nice. It looks good. It's nice and quiet. Let me see what this is all about. So I started looking into it, doing some research, and for whatever reason, I heard a lot of bad reviews about it. I had a lot of people come to me and saying, hey, it's not worth it. The AR Blue is just, there's a lot of issues with it. Obviously, I didn't try it out, so I can't say if it's good or bad. But just hearing the feedback on them, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to spend $700-800 on a pressure washer just to, be annoyed with it and not work the way that I wanted to. So I was like, okay, what is my plan here? What is my main goal? So I was like, you know what? Let me look into the Active 2.0. So there is a version 2.0 that they came out from Active. Basically, it's an upgraded version of this. They re-engineered the entire pump. Now it's able to work with longer hoses, so you can add on accessories. You can add, a 50, 75, 100-foot hoses with your pressure washer hose, as well as your garden hose. So it's also built to last longer and everything. And overall, it's just a better unit. And I was like, wow, that seems pretty good for $350. Let's try that one. So I ended up picking up the Active 2.0 pressure washer. So it's the better version of this one, or the upgraded version of this one. And then I was like, you know what? I really want it mounted up on the wall really nicely. So I decided to get the full Obsessed Garage wall mount system. It's not the one with all the Prevost piping or the CR spotless. It's the nice stainless steel shelf with the Cox hose reel, as well as the Cox hose reel mount, and a bunch of other really nice things. A really nice 100-foot pressure washer hose, as well as the Mosmatic wand and everything. So it's the whole 9 yards. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm really looking forward to it. The entire setup was like $1,700, so pretty darn expensive, but it is much cheaper than the Krenzla. So once that comes in, I will be doing a whole video on setting everything up and obviously doing my review on it and seeing what I think. Is it really worth all this money to kind of invest in your car washing pressure washer? To me, I know it's going to be worth it because I love doing this, but for the average Joe, we'll see if it's honestly worth it. Now, you guys may be thinking I'm crazy for spending that kind of money on a pressure washer that I use only to wash my car, but here is my logic. I eventually want to upgrade to the Krenzla. I want the full Obsessed Garage setup. I think it's just beautiful. It's exactly what I want in my garage. And I was like, you know what? Everything that I'm getting with the kit, with the Active 2.0 kit, the Cox hose reel, the actual pressure washer hose, the Mosmatic gun and everything, all that stuff can be used with the Krenzla. So I figured, why not try out the Active 2.0 since it's much more reasonable in terms of pricing and see if I like it, see if it's worth it, see if I enjoy that. And then maybe down the line, if I really want to go to the Krenzla, all we need to do is get the actual Krenzla unit. I wouldn't have to get all the accessories and everything. So that's my logic behind it. I'm able to kind of upgrade as I go instead of just doing everything at once. And, to me, that made more sense than just spending the $3,500 or so to do the full, complete Obsessed Garage Krenzla setup. And also, my second reasoning as to why I'm not going with the full crazy Krenzla setup right now is because this setup is temporary. I want something that I can mount up on the wall, use, and then be able to move it. And the reason I mention that is because eventually my wife and I do plan on making a moving to a new house, moving to a new garage. I don't want to spend a ton of money getting it all set up here with all the hosing and everything, getting the hose bib over here, sheetrocking everything and making it really beautiful. As much as I would love to do that, it just is not cost effective at this point. So I want something kind of mobile, something that I can just take down and take with me. Now, who knows when that's actually going to happen, whether it's going to be, you know, in a couple months or within the year, who knows. But it is definitely in our plans, and we will see what happens. So I wanted something that I can just take with me. Same thing goes along with the Swiss Tracks. If I did epoxy here, I wouldn't be able to take this with us. Now with the Swiss Tracks, I literally can just pick it up and move it to the new space. So it's a very, very versatile, mobile type of garage. All the cabinetry and everything can come with me, but that is down the line. That is something that we are kind of going over right now, and we will see what happens. But that is the reason why I didn't go with the faux Krenzler at this point as well, because I don't want to invest all the crazy money that it takes to get that set up properly and looking good when we have some goals and thoughts of, you know, moving to a new place and everything like that. But if and when that does happen, I will definitely be setting up the pressure washer very, very nicely. We're going to be outfitting the garage even nicer than this, and get it looking to where I really, really want it. And you know, that'll be fun doing a video on that. But I figured I would update you guys on the whole pressure washer situation. Once the new one comes in on the Active 1.0, we will try it out, do some testing, see if this one is worth it, see if this unit alone just had some problems, and you know, maybe I'll have a spare or something like that. We will see. But really, really appreciate Active sending a new one out and doing some testing to see if we can get that resolved. Greenworks is still fantastic, and you know, it has served me well. I washed the STI with it the other day, and I had no issues whatsoever. But I'm really looking forward to the new setup, the Active 2.0. A few of the items in the whole entire kit is on back order. So they did say it was about 2 weeks. So I should start getting stuff in within the next couple weeks or so. So once that all arrives, I will be sure to update you guys, setting everything up, unboxing it, showing you exactly what you get. And yeah, so I love all this stuff. Maybe you guys don't, but I do. So I figured I would share it, update you guys of the whole entire pressure washer situation, because I thought it was funny. I didn't even have any thought whatsoever of upgrading the pressure washer at this point. And now I'm going to have 4 pressure washers all of a sudden because, you know, that's just kind of what happens when I kind of go deep into things and obsess about them and think about them all the time. And you know, I eventually just end up getting what I want and going the whole 9 yards. So I know you guys want to see the STI and doing some modifications on this and doing some driving and having fun with this, but I figured I would update you guys. We are going to be jumping back on the STI in the next video. We're actually going to be reinstalling the Recaro Sportster GT seats back in the STI. So we are going to be doing that in Friday's video, I believe. I know you guys have seen me install them before, but you know, it is, I guess, the resurrection of the STI and kind of remodifying it. And plus it's driving me nuts having these beautiful seats just kind of sit here and not be used, because I still do drive the STI and I hate the stock seats. And why not put them back in? It's a relatively easy install and removal if I ever need to again. And so I figure might as well just throw them back in. I have them, might as well use them. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. I know it was short and sweet. I know it was just kind of a little talk around the garage about the pressure washer setup, but figured I would update you guys. But in the next one, as I mentioned, we are going to get back to working on the STI. And yeah, so looking forward to that. But if you have any questions at all, be sure to ask them below. In the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.